Alright, so there's the driver's side rust hole. This was weird. This had some sort of like sticky vinyl cover over it. I don't know. Alright, so there's the driver's side rust hole. This was weird. This had some sort of like sticky vinyl cover over it. I don't know. I'm going to clean it up. Try to save what's here. Let me show you the passenger side as well. Here's the passenger side. It had the same stuff. I don't know what this stuff is. I've never seen it before. It's weird. It just kind of sticks down in there. It's very elasticy. And it was all the way up over the bolts, covering the hump, the pan, the bolts anyway. You can see the remnants of the rubber floor mat. I don't have it fully out of here. I got to pull that boot to remove it. Right now I'm getting ready to remove the seat. I've got it unbolted. And then probably just going to wash it all out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this seal while I'm at it. I'll put it all back in later. I think it's salvageable. I may just blow it out, pressure wash it out, I'm not sure. But next step, I've already got the seat unbolted. I got to feed the seat belts through somehow and try to do all this by myself and get this seat out. That's cool. 3/24. Today is actually April 1st, so it's not that. It's kind of coincidental. Sort of split rails. I don't know. Maybe wick lumber. Manual tally. It's an oldie. 10 cedar split rails and cedar line posts. I don't have no full date. I do have month and year. That's kind of cool. Alright. Got some nuts here. I don't know what them are for. I think I'm going to get the shop vac out. I don't have a whole lot of daylight left. We're going to get this all swept out. That's probably going to be it for this evening. Been a long day, so let's get her swept out, see what it looks like. Probably call it. So I'm going to go ahead and start in on the floor sections of the 82 red GMC. So the issue I have right now is the rocker panels. It's in mostly decent shape. The floorboard is, I showed you guys that in previous videos, that area that's eaten out or is corroded out of there. The part that I'm going to attempt to make is going to be that top side of the rocker panel. Now I could go buy the rocker panel, sure, probably get it pretty reasonable, and have it shipped to the door. But you know, part of learning is just going for something. You know, trying something maybe you haven't necessarily tried before. Now I've done something similar to this in the past. It works out very well when you're just trying to get a 90-degree edge on something. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you guys. You can kind of see it down here probably in the clip. I'm going to show you what I do to put a 90-degree edge on there, and then I'll show you guys exactly the part that I'm trying to recreate. Now, not all of it's bad. The big part is the lip that holds the seal, or the lip that the seal sits on, is pretty much gone across the floor. And I need to recreate that, and I thought this might be best. Some of you out there is probably cringing right now going, dude, you don't know what you're doing. And that's fine. I never claimed that I did. This is just my way of doing it. And I'm probably creating a lot of extra work, but I'm also creating a lot of opportunity to learn on how to do something or how to do something better or whatever the case may be. So let me show you what I've got set up here, and then I'm going to get to the primitive portion of the forming the sheet metal. All right, you can see it there. It's just two pieces of looks like 3x3 by 3/16 and 1/4 inch angle, sandwiched together in a vise. I've already got my sheet metal in there, and it's set for the lip that I'm trying to create. So let me show you the really the unnecessary cardboard template that I used. As you can see here, I'm replacing about 30 inches, which will take care of a lot of the troubled areas. But this lip, that's really the key piece that I'm trying to recreate, and I thought this would be easier and easier to weld in place. Now it is going to have a little bit of curve as it rolls up the kick panel. That's what these slices are for. It's to allow this to curve, and it's actually going to twist just a little bit. So that's what I'll have to do with that. Once I get this 90-degree lip bent on here, I'll have to put a little bit of a roll or a twist into the sheet metal, something like that, so it can start up the kick panel. And I'll have to make some pie cuts, if you will, to allow it to do what it needs to do. As these parts overlap, I'll probably just make another cut, and then I'll go back and weld those up after everything is put in place. All we're going to do here is just take a hammer and, as Happy Gilmore would say, tap, 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 tap-a-roo. Or as you've seen in the movie, just tap, 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 tap-a-roo. He uses this, I think it's a 24 ounce or 30 ounce, whatever it is, ball peen hammer. It's all beat up from lots of use. It's going to work just fine for what we're doing here. If I get lots of dings, unnecessary dings down along that lip, it won't matter, because like I said, it gets a weather stripping seal over it. We're going to start walking it. I didn't need that. Call that good. I do have some clamps holding the angle together to keep it cinched together. One here, you can see the other one right over there. I'm going to pop those loose. I'll loosen the vise up and I'll show you what I got. see the lip on there. It's pretty good for what we did. Got a pretty good 90 on it, it looks like. A little, maybe just a little over right there, but that can all be worked in. Same thing through here. Alright, let me show you where this is going to go. Maybe. Well, we will try. It's dark. It's been raining. See if I can find my flashlight. I'll show you real quick, and then we're probably going to have to call it a night on this part. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to work on it outside and that stuff, along with the darkness. So, this piece is mostly made. Tomorrow I'll have to figure out where to make those cuts and start to put that twist and shape it. And then, once this part is made, I'll determine exactly where I'm going to cut off, or where I'm going to cut the material out on the rocker panel. That gives me a little bit of liberty, if you will, since I've already got the part made. I can finesse the two to fit better, is what I'm saying. So, this is the piece that I was working on last night when we called it quits. Got it wiped down, got some tape on there in the areas I don't want paint. I'm going to go ahead and prep this with some paint. Give it a little time to dry while I go out there. While it's drying, I'm going to go out there and work on cutting the old section out. At least freeing up some areas. Alright, so let's go out to the truck. We're going to take the cardboard template I made, figure out where our cut spots are going to be, we'll get it marked out, and then we'll see what we got to do from there. Where we are. Got this top section cut out. As you can see, I had to cut some more here. There just wasn't, it was pitted so bad I didn't figure it was going to last. I had to clean out in here, which I'll have to do some more prep work. Got it wire brush, got all the loose stuff off of it, got it blown out. As you can see, there's some pretty good size holes in the outer rocker panel. I'll come back for that later. I've got to straighten this out with a hammer and dolly. Get this piece put back in. I've already got it made. It's sitting in the garage. I'm waiting on some primer to dry on it. And then we'll get that piece back in. Get this top piece hopefully tacked in place. And we'll be making some progress. After that, I'll come back and probably address this section up to the curve, and then I'm thinking about, because there's so many thin areas up through here, I think I may just end up replacing this whole floor section on this side, which is not what I wanted to do, but I think it's going to be the best move. I think the hardest spot's going to be up in here. It's going to be a difficult area to work on. This maybe, but it's all part of it. We'll get it there, and it'll be better than it was, almost as good as it used to be. Alright, got some pieces puzzled in there. Not super happy with it. Didn't mean to make that many pieces, but I'd missed a couple of things on exactly how that was supposed to fit. That's alright, we're going to make it work, one way or the other. So, next step, start welding some of this stuff in a little bit, and then I'll grab the cap plate, but we'll see how much time we got left before it gets dark. Alright, got this all puzzled in and recreated the best that I can figure I may put some body sealer down in there. I don't know. This thing's got to breathe, and I still gotta patch these holes, but it's all gooder, they would say. I'll let that dry a minute. I'm gonna grab that other piece. I cut this with a lip because I was thinking I'd put a step on this seal plate, but I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to get it out here, see what it looks like at least. One step closer, further than I was. All these black dots, I need to drill those out for spot welds. Just kind of randomly guessing about how many is needed. Real close to this fit here. It's got a twist in, but I think I'm just going to work my way down through there. As far as where to cut this edge, I think I'm going to go ahead and start fitting it, and then I'll come back and I'll do a cut to match. So I'll just cut it right along that new piece and start fitting it down in there and tacking it till it all lines up while I'm working that in. So, but I know it don't look like much now. You can see my little pie cuts here allowing me to shape that by hand, and then I'll come back and weld those up later. So let's see what we can do. Should have created enough room to make it pretty close. I'm sorry, I got caught up in the moment. Getting this piece in here. know it's a little hard to tell. So I took, let me put this light down. Took this piece of round rod that I had. After I got it forced up about where I wanted, I went back through and used it like a hammer or like a dolly and just started hitting it right on the top, right here, and just kind of worked it in the shape to where it had most of the curve that it needed. I did accidentally overslice there. It's really thin here. I'll have to fix that later anyway. But it all pushed down in there. Pretty nice. I'm hoping once I get a good buildup of weld through there, I can round it off with a grinder and it won't be that noticeable. And I can go back, finish spotting these in, grind those off. Weld that seam there. I still got to fix that. Oops, sorry. I got to weld that seam there, and I still got to fix that. I mean, obviously, I still have lots of work to do. I still got to weld all these splices up. All these splices up here. But, you know, it's all part of it. I think I'm going to call it a night. I've lost too much light. Let me show you. Getting kind of hard to work outside in this, so been a long day. We're back, new day, sun shining, birds chirping, weather's a little cool. I'm gonna work on getting this piece welded into the truck, so stay tuned. See if I can get myself out of the way, creating a shadow. There it is, welded in. Nothing a little body filler won't finish up. Obviously I still have those to take care of. I'm not sure when I'm going to address that, but I will. Alrighty, looking good I think. Well, as you can see, the top plate of the rocker panel is all in, sanded down. I still got to do some repair right there and a couple other spots, but this is what I've been working on for the last little bit. Probably the last hour. I ended up cutting out the old floor section. Now I've still got to make this channel section, figure out how to wrap it around, but I do have the floor panel. It's not pretty, it's not great. There's the majority of it. I know it's not like the factory, but that's okay. You're not going to Flintstone it, and that's the key. And it should be pretty stout, so that's where we're at. Test fit it down in there. I want to see what it looks like, about how close it is. And then maybe tomorrow, weather permitting and time, I will work on getting it fit in. I'll get some paint on it. I think I'm going to fit this section in differently. I'm not going to butt weld it. I'm just going to lap weld it. It'll be a very tight overlap. I think that'll be the easiest way to fix the problem that I have. So that's what I'm going to do. Butt welding just takes forever, and it creates more problems. And this is nothing more than lots of spot welds in conjunction or combination with seam sealer, which is what I was going to have to do anyway. But I'm going to try that, and I guess if I don't like it, I can cut it out and redo it. What do you think of that? Anyway, we're going to see how it looks. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And I'm not going to get the lap seam that I thought. Apparently I cut the hole too big for winging it and guessing. So it looks like I'm going to be butt welding it anyway. Oh well, just part of it. But I think it's going to go in pretty good. Definitely need to get some paint on the bottom side and let that cure tonight. And I need to get paint on the structure. I think between those two, I'll be ready to start trying to put it in tomorrow. So that's the plan. Hopefully I can get it to come out half decent like this. I'm going to get some paint on the structural supports underneath the floor right now, and then I'm going to take the panel inside. I'm going to scuff it up, warm it up, and I'm going to hit it with some paint also and let that dry tonight, and then hopefully tomorrow we'll be ready to start putting that floor pan section in. It'll still be better than what was in there. I can live with it. Good enough for me. Ready. Shoot backside of that one, whatever I can get. I want to get for that. Alright, I got the piece all scuffed up with some 80 grit. Clean it up real quick. Wipe it down, get all the stuff off of it. Fingerprints, not that it matters. There is a lot of dust and some oils. So we want that stuff off there. Give it the best chance possible, right? Put all this time and effort into it. Alright, I think we're ready for paint. Ready enough. Alright. Let that dry a little bit. Today, working on the red truck. Already got the floor pan made, put in. There's a couple little hiccups I gotta resolve. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be good enough. And like I keep saying, it's gonna be better than it was. Let me show you what I got. Alright, so I still gotta recreate this, but I'm hoping this is gonna be the easier one to do, other than wrapping that corner. See, that channel's back in there. I had to make a piece for over here. I still got to make a piece that goes up to there. I got to fix that goof up. I still got to make a small piece there. And I got to do something with that corner. But for the most part, the big portion of the work is in. I'm gonna end up having to butt weld it, which is not what I wanted to do. It's just the way it ended up working out. I thought I cut the hole small, but it wasn't small enough. So that's where we're at. Alright, so I still got to recreate this, but I'm hoping this is going to be the easier one to do, other than wrapping that corner. See, that channel's back in there. I had to make a piece for over here. I still got to make a piece that goes up to there. I I got to fix that goof up. I still got to make a small piece there, and I got to do something with that corner. But for the most part, the big portion of the work is in. I'm gonna end up having to butt weld it, which is not what I wanted to do. It's just the way it ended up working out. I thought I cut the hole small, but it wasn't small enough, so that's where we're at. All right, here we are laying out for the next piece. This is going to be that channel that goes between the hump at the seat and the rocker panel. It's going to have at least a single break in there. You see a double line because this section will lap underneath the rocker panel. This is going to actually be like the trough area or weather seal area. My template, I ended up trimming off just a little short. So that's what the extra line is. That's why there's a space here. I'm going to make it a little bit longer, trim it to fit. Piece cut out. We'll get the 90-degree brake put in it. Take it out there. We're going to see how close it really is. I'll still have a triangle piece that I'll have to make to go in there. I hate to have to puzzle that in there, but I think it's just going to be easiest, and I can weld it and grind it, and it'll look decent enough. I mean, it's going to have carpet over it anyway, or whatever I can put in it. I couldn't find the rubber mat, so hey, if you guys have any locations where I can find like a replacement rubber mat, which is what I would much rather have back in there, put it down in the comments. I would really appreciate it. If not, it's going to end up with carpet back in it. I'm sorry, with carpet in it instead of the old deteriorated rubber mat. So I'll just do whatever I got to do with whatever I can get. But if you guys got a lead on something or know a place or a company that does that, or maybe you are the company, hit me up, let me know. I would appreciate it. You just got to put the brake in it, 90-degree bend, and I think we'll be ready to trial fit it, see where we stand. Just about perfect. But it's done. Let's go see how it's supposed to go. Right up in here. I think I originally counted for some overlap. We'll have to get creative down here on this end. I knew I was going to have to do some stuff. I think originally right there I was going to do a lap joint, but I don't think that's going to work now, so let me see what I can do. I'll get back with you. A little protective coating on it. I'll put another coat on it. The only side I'm really concerned about is the other side, but since I got rain coming in, I felt like I need to go ahead and get something on it. You're going to have my big shadow in the way. Alright, there's the floor all in. I did get some paint on it last night to cut down on any surface rust. I still got to do something with that corner back in there. It's kind of shadowed by the steering wheel right now. Got that little piece put in. I'm currently prepping to take care of that section there. I got to do some welding down here first before I put that piece on. And I'm trying to get some paint over the rusted areas there that I chose not to cut out. Now, we did end up with quite a bit of rain last night, even though my seams were taped up. I did get some rust form in them, which I kind of expected, but that's surface rust, easy to clean out. After that, it's just a whole lot of welding. But it's coming along. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I did get this piece in. This one was a little tricky. Wasn't too bad through here. It's not perfect, but it's good. This transition turned out to be a little bit of a challenge. I think I'm pretty close. It shouldn't be that noticeable. I did have to cut a little triangle piece to get in there. But all in all, I think it went pretty good. I did put a lap seam here, which I wasn't sure if I was going to, but I wanted the reinforcement and the strength. And it's a small overlap, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. I still got to do something with this piece here, even though it'll probably be fine. I'll probably put something in there, and then I'll clean all this after I get it all welded, and I'll get it all painted up to where it looks better. But first steps first, lots of welding. New day. This is my last day off before I go back to my full-time real job, I guess. Still working on the old Chevy. It's going to be a gorgeous day. Today's the day of the eclipse. When you see this, it'll probably be a couple weeks past. So I hope you was able to see it if you was in the area. If not, you know, I don't know, maybe there'll be another time. I don't know much about it. But let me show you the progress I've got on this thing, on the 82. I'm waiting on some paint to dry. I'm just trying to prep some areas before I put some covering over it. I got one last piece already made that needs to go in, but that's where I'm waiting on the paint to dry. Hopefully I'll get that tacked in here before long, and then I'll just commence with welding on this side. But first, let me show you where I'm at, show you the progress that I've got going on. While I was on my little 5-minute break, it decided to sprinkle a little bit, so I didn't want this bare metal sitting out here unprotected. But I didn't need paint where I was going to weld, because it was just going to make things harder. So all I did was just scotch tape all my weld seams, all my spot welds, put a first coat of primer on it. I'm going to put a second coat of primer on it here in just a second while it's still tacky, and then I'm going to put some just some Rust-Oleum black gloss enamel whatever, and then I'm going to let that tack up, and then I'll probably just let it sit. Alright, we're back. I've been working on it. I haven't really been filming it for you guys, but I'll show you the progress. I did stop a little bit and watch the eclipse that passed over. Super cool. Enjoyed it with at least a couple of my kids and my wife, so that was really cool. It was a memorable moment. But after that was over, I got back to work on the old red truck. So let me show you what's going on. Dirty at the moment. I got my pieces all welded in. I got to go back, do a whole lot of grinder work. It's not pretty. It's all right. Sound is what I was shooting for, and it's all going to be under a mat or piece of carpet or whatever. So if it was more exterior or more visible, I'd probably spend a little more time on it outside of what I'm still going to do. So but that's where we're at, making progress. Be happy to get this portion of it wrapped up. My least favorite part is the grinding, so that's what I'm going to do next. And that's where we're at. Well, I got her all ground up, about as good as I expected. Decided I'd go ahead and do some unnecessary Bondo work, make it look a little bit better. I'll let this stuff dry. I'll go back in, I'll sand it all down, I'll reapply a new coat. We'll see what I got left to do. It's not an easy task, obviously. We'll make it look better than what it is, and we'll just go from there. But we are making progress. Bondo, hopefully after this, I'll probably just put a skim coat on it to fill in any major imperfections. Maybe a touch more. I know this really isn't necessary, but I did want a slightly smoother finish. I know nobody's really going to see it, but it may be a little bit before I get carpet put in it, and I may be putting like a raptor liner, bed liner, or something in here until then. I haven't decided, but I am trying to plan a little bit ahead. So that'll be it for this evening. I'm losing my sunlight, back to work tomorrow, so we'll see if I can find time later in the week, weather permitting, to do some stuff with this. So thanks for watching, guys. New day. The rain has finally passed. Man, it's been raining for like 3 days straight, 4 days. It's been some. Things were flooded, roads were flooded, my yard's a sopping mess, but just all part of it. Nevertheless, we're going to get back on the GMC pickup. I've already started doing a little more sanding on the last layer of Bondo that I put in there. It's not going to be like perfect by no means, but it's better, and that's what I was shooting for, and that's what I keep saying, it's better. So I got to do a little cleanup from where the water's gotten to some of the bare metal. I got to clean that rust off. I think I'm going to put some seam sealer on it in the areas that's needed, and I'm definitely going to get some paint on the bottom side from the weld seams, and hopefully get some paint on this thing today, and we're going to call it good for the driver's side. Minus, yeah, we still need a seal, and yeah, we still need a driver's window and some other stuff, but as far as the structural repair of the support, that's my goal, is to get the floor finished on this side, and maybe we can get started on the passenger side, getting one step closer to getting to the point where we can put the fuel tank back in it, and actually get the drive of this thing at least around the yard, up and down the driveway. Once we're to that point, it's game on. I'm looking for tires and all kinds of stuff. So that's the plan. Enough yapping, time to work. All right, so here we are underneath the truck. I need to do something with that hole right there. I think I'll make a piece to go over it. The rest will get seam sealed. I'll do a little sanding or grinder work up through here. It'll probably get seam sealed. I'll spot weld some metal over that, seam seal around that. That'll close most of that off. I mean, it's going to leak. It's never going to be perfect, but it'll be good. I've already taken a grinder across what I could reach here. The rest is just going to get hand sanded, rough it up, and then I'm going to put some paint on it. Seam sealer here. I'll clean this up a little bit more with a grinder. Wire wheel a lot of this stuff through here. You can see where the rear floor section got welded in at the hump, right here, right there, and then part of that channel weather seal along the floor here. Also, since I'm down here, it's not terrible yet, but I think I'll hand sand and wire wheel a lot of this stuff, just because I'm over here and I'm already under here. So I'm gonna clean this stuff up some, and then I'm going to hit it all with paint. And get a hit back in here. There's where I did a patch on the inside, not the best job. I'll seal that up. And I cleaned up everything I could up that direction. Right now I've got the exhaust in the way. Speedometer cable. There's a lot of things in the way preventing me from doing it the way I'd like to do it, but I don't want to take the time to tear everything apart. So we'll just do what we can and call it good. So let me get suited up. I'll set the camera up. I don't know exactly what you guys are going to be able to see, and I'm going to get at it. Mostly I want to get this addressed, one, because it needs to be taken care of, and two, the fuel tank, this is the driver's side, sits here, so I'm not going to be able to get back to it unless I drop the tank, and I don't want to be dropping the tank anytime too soon. So that's where we're at. I do have to replace this hose fitting here for the obviously for the fuel tank. And then I don't remember if I showed you guys this or not. Look at that broken eye on the leaf spring. I haven't. The correct fix would be replace the leaf. I may do that. I may try something else. I haven't decided. But that is going to be a preventative from driving it around, obviously safely. So we will have to address that. I may go ahead and sand and paint these. Maybe inside there, I don't know. I mean, it's you know, it's like since you're already here type of thing, and it just continues to snowball. So it takes, before you know it, you're like rebuilding the whole thing disassembled in the garage, sitting for 15 years, and you never get it done. So you got to learn to call it quits here and there, and piece it out when you can, or just drive it and enjoy it. Anyway, I'm going to do what I can, and let me get you guys set up. right, this is where we're at. Not great, but good. Gotta go get some more paint. Some more rattle can stuff. Looking good though. Alright, still the wrong red. This is a satin apple red. But that's alright. I'm going with it. Got a new coat on it. Underneath side's all painted. I'll show you that. Just went back over it with another coat. This time I did a satin black. I didn't want it to really pop. First time I used gloss because that's what I had. I still haven't put any seam sealer on it. Probably should have done that first, but I wanted to get paint on it because I'm tired of trying to fight the weather, and we got rain coming in first of next week. I have not gotten to that. I don't know when I will. This is like the gas tank area, like I said earlier. I did hit some of the bed down this side because this is all going to be blocked. So this is what we're going with. I still got to patch that hole that I showed you earlier, but I'll get to it. All right, the inside floor is looking pretty good on the driver's side. I'm going to put another coat, maybe 2 on it, of some more red paint that I can find at the local hardware store or something like that.